This is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. Once again, we have to talk about the Indian Super League, and the more I speak to people, the more people are asking the question, will the ISL happen or not? And if we look around us, if we look at certain statements which have come out over the last few days, I think Gautam Singh was the first one to make a very detailed statement. Shobik Chakraborty I've seen Sandesh Jingan, Senor Habas has put out. I'm most probably missing a lot of others. The worries are turning into fear, and the fears are turning into panic with certain people who work in the ISL or within the clubs or within companies who provide services to the Indian Super League. The fallout, if the ISL doesn't happen, will not only restrict itself to the ISL, it will impact the whole Indian football pyramid, the whole Indian football ecosystem negatively. That's a fact. And it's dangerous. If we look at the situation at the moment, I think there is nobody in the whole world who can say what is going to happen. It looks, what I've said a month and a half ago, the likelihood of the 2025-26 ISL season happening looks grim, looks difficult. Still possible. It's not impossible, but it looks very difficult. But the question is now also, what is the mid to long-term outlook of a top-tier division in Indian football? I think that is the biggest of all questions that we somehow need to figure out and answer. Because at the moment, the tender of the Indian Super League, the commercial tender of the Indian Super League has failed. The BEC, Bid Evaluation Committee, is going back to the Supreme Court. And I don't even know if the Honorable Court has been following what has been happening in and around Indian football. If they realize the danger that is there, that the ISL might cease to exist. And if it ceases to exist, again, yes, Reliance, FSDL gone, but I guess Reliance will sort something out for those people that they want to keep. But what happens with the clubs? What happens to the franchisees? What happens with the investors? Will they stay? Will they move out? What happens? I've been hearing a lot that it needs to be saved. It needs to happen. Some people have reached out to me and said, hey, can you help in any way? And at the moment, there are a lot of people who are reaching out to a lot of people and trying to ask for help. It is a very difficult scenario. It is a very complex scenario. And there is also no simple solution and answer because of what the Supreme Court did earlier this year, when they said that there needs to be a tender. And then thereafter, they came out with the constitution of the AIFF saying that the AIFF needs to be the custodian of all the leagues, needs to be in charge of the league. That itself is turning off a lot of potential investors. They're thinking, why would I invest in a property? Why would I try and raise money for this property, try to build a property? If I de facto don't have control, I can be thrown out. Decision can be taken against my interest. And this has happened in other sports where national federations have had issues and problems with their commercial partners. And I have to bring in 200 to 300 crores to make this work. That is a big thing. To bring in that much of amount of money to try and make the Indian Super League work, because who's going to come forward as sponsors, corporates? to support Indian football at the moment. If anyone Googles Indian football at the moment, if anyone looks up what's been happening, the question is very simple. How do we sort this in the best interest of Indian football? In the interest of the players, the coaches, the people working within the system, and of course, not to forget the fans. We're all part of the ecosystem. And this is the question that the All India Football Federation and the Supreme Court of India will need to answer ASAP. Because the clock is ticking, and if it takes its usual time, the 2025-2026 season are unlikely to be played. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? If you've got anything else you want to add or write down below. As always, like, share and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.